I'm standing on the roof of my home right here in Braddock, Pennsylvania, right across the street from the Edgar Thompson plant. And I just have to say it's absolutely outrageous that they have sold themselves to a foreign nation and a company. Can't do that. Steel is always about security as well, too. And I am committed to doing anything I can do from using my platform or my position in order to block this.
Wow. How did the stroke make him smarter?
U.S. Steel Company has agreed to be sold to Japan's Nippon Steel. And, this guy, John Fetterman, is absolutely not happy about it.
I'm standing on the roof of my home right here in Braddock, Pennsylvania, right across the street from the Edgar Thompson plant. And I just have to say it's absolutely outrageous that they have sold themselves to a foreign nation and a company. Can't do that. Steel is always about security as well, too. And I am committed to doing anything I can do from using my platform or my position in order to block this.
Wow. How did the stroke make him smarter? Fetterman is one right-wing comment away from an FBI investigation.
Yeah, it happened to suddenly be like, hey, John, we know it's you. We can see the hoodie and shorts.
Hey, Mr. Carhart, we hear what you're saying about China, too.
Yeah. It's 5 degrees. By the way, when you select backgrounds to talk about industry, smokestacks right here, not the best look, because we're like, we probably ought to get rid of those in the first place anyway. I'm not sure. I know it was cold there and it was probably mostly steam, but hey, it could be killing people down the street too. We don't know. It's Christmas.
He's like, how am I supposed to wake up in the morning and after my stroke and smell smoke? Was that smoke I'm smelling, or am I having a stroke? Keep the smoke, please. I need the smoke. Please, I can't live without smoke.
But that's the Hostess plant. It smells good.
The Hostess plant.
Orville Redenbacher's right down the street.
They make ding-dongs, and I'm a ding-dong.
There we go. Yeah. They can't string sentences together either.
Who let him climb on his roof?
I don't know, but unfortunately...
He doesn't climb. He's such a big
I know,
Frankenstein monster.
I'm on my roof. I'm like, how'd you get there? Who let you do that?
But look, to your point, unfortunately, he couldn't actually find his way down afterwards, so his family had to make him part of the Christmas decorations, and so it just became a fixture. Yeah. Hey, still here, guys.
I imagine Fetterman on his roof. It just makes me think of like a mob with pitchforks and fire going, get the monster.
Like, no, don't look at me. Or listen to me. Either one of those things. Nippon Steel outbid the others that were bidding for this, and it's funny to see that other people were bidding for this, because when you see their bid amounts, you're like, they weren't really bidding. They outbid others with a $14.9 billion offer, which, according to the stock price and the company valuation, is 142% premium. Not a bad deal. If you're going to buy a company, pay 142% more than it takes to buy all of their shares, but sometimes that happens.
That's Argentina money.
That's Argentina money. You can buy the whole country. Malay will probably sell it to you for a deal.
Afuera.
That's what U.S. Steel win. They win afuera.
Afuera! That's more than 2 times the next highest bid, though. They see value in it way, way more. S-Mark was $10 billion, I think, something like that. So that's more than twice. That's insane.
That's a lot of katanas.
Yeah, well, anyway. So here's the thing. Why are people upset? Steel is a matter of national security, right? We've talked about this before. Having steel production is very important here in the United States. It's used for everything. Cars, ships, construction, wars, right? You got to build a ship, you're going to need some steel. World War II, the United States made more than half of the world's steel. Now, here's a big problem with people being worried now about steel. China, they lead the world in production more than the rest of the world combined.
Oh.
We're 4th behind India and Japan. Japan has less land to put steel mills on, and they still produce more than us.
Wow.
This was a huge, huge problem. I spent some time after Notre Dame, not against Catholics. Not Catholics bad. We have the Hitler bad thing. We're not doing the Catholics bad thing. I'm just saying it's not. But I lived in Cleveland, and all these steel mills and the production, a lot of that stuff was already shut down. This was in 2002, 2003. That was a problem back then, but Donald Trump tried to change that. He put a 25% tariff on Chinese steel to try to protect industries. Now, you can argue whether you think tariffs work, whether protectionism is a thing that you want to dive into, but at the very least, you can see that it has been a problem for a while, and Donald Trump understands that problem. Maybe the potential loss of U.S. jobs is what's pissing people off. Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey had this to say. I'm concerned about what this means for the steel workers and the good union jobs that have supported Pennsylvania families for generations, whatever, for the long-term investment in the Commonwealth and for American industrial leadership. We haven't led in industry for a while. You have to understand this. For him to say the good union jobs that have supported Pennsylvania families for generations, are you going to stand in the way of progress? Probably not. Are you going to be a protectionist? Are you going to be somebody who just tariffs everybody else? What about a country who basically just says we're not buying anything from anybody else, or no other companies can buy our stuff and have plants here? You can't be like, Hyundai or a Honda or anybody else that's producing stuff here in the United States employing American people, even though it's a foreign-owned company. I understand why there is some nervousness here. But should we really be upset about this? Is it really a threat? Well, according to X, I think we're all getting comfortable with calling it X now. Yeah. It's fantastic. It is. DC Drano tweeted, I'm with Fetterman on this one. Don't allow the sale of U.S. steel to a foreign country. This is a national security risk. We should have already learned our lesson when we outsourced nearly all our antibiotic production to communist China. Well, respectfully, I disagree.
It's not selling to the country, though.
No,
it's not like it's communist China where the companies are
we're not outsourcing
run
either.
by the government.
Yeah. You know what they did? They bought the steel mill here, which at the very least means they have to employ people here in this economy, and they have to help the communities here. Steel production won't move to Japan. In fact, they agreed to keep Nippon Steel, agreed to keep the headquarters in Pittsburgh. Could have gone anywhere else. They chose Pittsburgh.
Oh, I can't wait for that new Steelers uniform.
I know, right?
The new Japanese Steelers uniform.
It's gonna be like one of those anime books, right? It's gonna be awesome. I don't know. I never was into anime, but it's gonna look a lot better than some of these uniforms. But look, they decided to honor the union contracts as well. I don't know why they did that, but they did, and maintain the U.S. Steel name. Those all seem like really good things to do.
Seems like a good business decision, really. It doesn't seem like anything more than that or malice. Keep the employees happy.
Yeah.
Keep the brand name.
You know what? Yeah. You know what U.S. Steel was going to do? Go out of business. Afuera! That was U.S. Steel. Yeah. They were going to try to sell to somebody else who was going to pay half of the value for it. I think that's a problem because they obviously don't see as much potential. Typically, when you buy companies like this, or you kind of shut down parts of it, you streamline it. That's what they like to say. Streamlining is basically saying, hey, we're going to cut costs. You know what the main cost center is for people? We're going to cut people. You're the cost. Sorry. Yeah. You're going to get cut out of this deal. So they're going to honor the union contracts. Unions should be fantastic. They should be very happy about this. They're going to maintain the name. They're going to keep it in Pittsburgh. That seems like a pretty good deal. I understand being worried about foreign companies that are in foreign countries, not the countries themselves, buying up things like this in the United States, especially when people say, well, it's a national security issue. Well, China makes pretty much all the world's steel right now anyway, or at least so much of it that we're buying a lot of it from them. So why isn't that a national security issue that we've solved?
I would hope that our national security isn't being protected by steel plant workers too.
Well, that's also true.
I don't know where the risk is.
Yeah, well, I think what people are saying is if we need steel in a pinch, we don't want to depend on a country we could be at war with to provide said steel. Yeah. I understand that, but that's with everything. Should we not have smartphones? Or should we have to put everything here on? Okay, so should we not use chips? What if China takes over Taiwan and now we don't get access to the microchips? Most of our way of life changes if China shuts that off. Shouldn't that mean that you're absolutely 100% for protecting Taiwan at any cost? And like Vivek Ramaswamy proposed, even though it was kind of silly to say that we could do it in the time frame, make sure that we have those capabilities here. But what about this? In a time of war, if Japan's not on our side, we take it back. If we have to, we can just seize the assets. It's in the Constitution. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 2, I think. Look, and it does remain to be seen what Nippon Steel will do with the operations and all the jobs and everything, but U.S. Steel hasn't been thriving for a very long time, and it's time to acknowledge that. It's not a new issue. At the Granite City Mine in Illinois, local steelworker president Dan Simmons noted this: we know what U.S. Steel's operations plan was for Granite City, and it wasn't positive. So myself and members I represent in this community were ready to embrace a new owner that would that would like this facility. We make grades of steel that nobody else in this country can make. U.S. Steel didn't take advantage of that. Okay, so you have a problem with management. That's new. But he's right. Nippon Steel, they've had investment in the U.S. since 1984, starting in West Virginia. In 2008, Nippon Steel took full ownership of the Wheeling Nippon plant in Falansby, West Virginia. And this is exclusive to us. These are our people going out and doing what no one in the media apparently has done. We reached out to the Falansby mayor, Dave Villogel, sorry if I get that wrong, Dave Villogel, for comment, and he had nothing but praise for the company, saying they are a tremendous corporate citizen. We couldn't ask for more. Since 1984, they've had this company there. U.S. Steel, I don't know who they bought it from, but Nippon Steel has been operating. He also noted that how Wheeling Nippon donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to initiatives like disaster relief, construction of local baseball fields, community function. And look, Nippon Steel sees a lucrative market here in the United States. Cheap energy costs, growing population, economy that seems like it's trying to get turned around at some point with a new person in office. That's fantastic, kind of betting on the future a little bit. Increased infrastructure spending, those things. Sometimes if it's more taxes, if it's more debt, I have problems with that. I understand. But maybe they can succeed where U.S. Steel hasn't. And here's my question for you. Final question on this. Would you rather it go out of business? Would you rather it be bought by somebody who can't see the value and can't turn it around? They may be wrong in their bid. They may go bankrupt. We'll see. But I would rather somebody come in that sees the value and sees an opportunity than to have this just shut down anyway and leave yet another town destitute because everybody depended on it, on the steel mill, for their work. Watch Louder with Crowder live Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.